Welcome to Building Texas with Justin McKenzie and Summer Bobarek. Sponsored by the Boerne County Economic Development Corporation and Das GreenHaus. And now, here's your host, Justin McKenzie.
Welcome to Building Texas. My name's Justin McKenzie. You're listening to Boerne Radio 103.9 FM. Today, I'm really excited to have a local conversation around a market that is coming into Boerne and is known in Boerne. I've been impressed. A lot of people are excited that y'all are guests on the radio today. I'm excited to learn more about the Boerne Handmade Market and talk about how we got here, what it's been doing, what's coming new and refreshed this year. I think there's a new location to talk about and some other stuff. So I'm welcoming Tiffany Phillips and Sarah Wilburn from the Boerne Handmade Market that takes place on May 3rd and 4th of 2024. Tiffany, welcome to the studio.
Hi, Justin. Thanks for having us. We are so excited for Boerne Handmade Market. Of course, I'm Tiffany Phillips. I am a native Boerne who is now taking over as one of the co-owners of Boerne Handmade Market. It has been established for 11 years and going into the 12th year now. We are just so excited to be supporting local businesses and makers and bring such a wonderful market to Boerne. Continue it, actually.
Mm-hmm. And Sarah Wilburn, how are you?
I am doing so great. I'm super excited to be here. I echo everything Tiffany said. We're thrilled to be taking over what has already been an established, super awesome avenue for makers in Boerne to showcase what they can do. And I'm also a native Boerneite, if that's what we call ourselves.
You know, I've heard it called the Bernese. I think
Bernese.
That's like the dog. I think that's the best line I've heard. Jennifer Milton talks about the Bernese, people from Boerne.
I'll take it.
But we share all that because Tiffany and I have known each other since I showed up in German class our sophomore year. And Sarah, you were behind us a little bit, but still Boerne High School graduate. We talked about Sam Champion and all the things that we enjoy about the school district and where they put schools in our town. It's fun to sit here and talk about three people here that were all products of our school system, have all gone out and individually done a lot of great things. So we'll be thrilled to share that. But coming back and making a difference, a handmade market to me is a place where the small makers, somebody that's doing stuff in their home kitchen, cottage law kind of products, have a place to be sold. Am I wrong in understanding it that way?
No, you're exactly right. Actually, I am a maker myself coming from Boerne High School. I have a biochemistry background. I have a skincare business, and that's exactly what I do. And it makes a huge difference not only to a mom, a family, a community when you're able to make a difference. And that's what these handmade markets do for people. They're sometimes how a family supports themselves or brings in a little bit of extra money, or how a mom is able to stay at home with her child. All of those different things. It's so important to support these lifelines of our community to make an impact and a difference. And that's what these markets do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if we can take over the organization part and make it easier for someone to show up with what they've made and then to make a profit, then that's amazing for us. And we both will have booths at the market because we both do own small businesses. It's super cool that we can be part of the vendor aspect, but as well as like just taking care of the small details for everybody else so that they can come in and not have to worry about anything.
Now, there's been a big shift for the handmade market this year. You're going to a new location. I hear there's better parking. What are some things that we really should look forward to for May 3rd and 4th?
Okay, well, we got to shout out the parking again because it is so good. It's open, it's flat, it's just fantastic. The venue itself is super modern, very clean, open. We have the opportunity to have vendors in multiple spaces, which I think will feel really comfortable for everybody. It's indoor and outdoor. We'll have lounge areas. So one thing as a shopper, I've been doing Boerne Handmade Market VIP night for several years now. And one thing that hasn't been available is an area to socialize with the other shoppers because you're going to run into someone, you know, it's Boerne. Everybody knows everybody. But there's never been a spot where you can sit and talk and not feel like you're in someone's way. So this venue has lounge areas, couches, chairs, just somewhere that you can take a break from your shopping, grab your wine and sit and chat with someone that you ran into. So I think that's going to open up more for the market itself because people are going to stay and hang out and talk and say, oh, I got this from this booth and oh, where'd you go get that? And I think it'll drive a lot.
It'll make it a really great community event too, because you're running into people that you know. And even as a vendor in previous markets for myself, just having those lines of people out, this space is so open, like Sarah said. And there are multiple spots, multiple little cubbies, little rooms that we can put vendors where it opens up that area a little bit more, and that even shoppers can talk with one another during their wait time if they're waiting for a vendor booth to open. It's really going to be just better all the way around, I feel like. That's our goal. Our goal is to make it better than it already is, and that is a really tough thing to do, to be honest.
And also to not change a whole bunch about it, because we're taking over as new organizers. We don't want anyone to fear, oh, well, here come the new people. What are they going to make different? We're not trying to change anything about how it runs, but just make the experience better.
In a past life, I've been a vendor at Boerne Market Days as an example, but walking through that recently, they had a rescheduled event because of rain, and I walked through it, and I love Market Days. I think it has a wonderful place in our community, but a lot of that is people that travel to those market days, and that's what they're doing every weekend. That's how they do their hustle. With Boerne Handmade Market, are we seeing vendors from around the region and state, or are you seeing a higher density of local makers?
So you're going to see a higher density of local makers. There are several from San Antonio, Spring Branch, maybe a few from Austin, Lockhart area. But what's so different and great about Boerne Handmade Market is the fact that these vendors apply to the market, and then we send those applications to a jury. The jury ranks them, and then we only accept a certain percentage of each type of product or whatever it might be, right? And they are truly handmade. So they have to spend a certain percentage of hands-on on that particular product. And so that's what makes it really different about what you're talking about, right? So these makers may spend their weekends at different markets like local events and things like that, or be involved in those things, but you're not seeing vendors from Georgia or wherever it might be.
The Tchotchkes stuff that your kids all want. It's $3. It's going to be lost in 30 minutes. This is craftsmanship.
We're talking about high quality craftsmanship things. We're talking about beautiful wood cutting boards. We're talking about handcrafted skin products that are all natural. Beautiful local jewelry being made.
There's a good chance that as a visitor to the handmade market, you might know a vendor. So what's the best way to go out and support these makers that are coming in from the neighborhoods?
One of the best ways is to share about the market. And we're encouraging the vendors also to share as much as they can and to tag us in pictures and videos. But if you know that someone that you love to shop from is going to be at the market, we would love for you to share that you'll be there supporting them. And then take pictures while you're there or share the products that you got. So excited to have bought this crocheted stuffy for my son, and take a picture of it or whatever it is. Just shout it out to everyone that you can reach, because it's totally word of mouth. We don't have campaigning, quote unquote, funds to go out and market ourselves everywhere. This is all from us and from the vendors directly. So if you've shopped at the market before and you've gotten something you love and you know that vendor's going to be there, let everybody know, hey, I can't wait to go back and get something from this person.
So as we get ready to go into the break, we've talked a lot in the segment around what Boerne Handmade Market is and what you can expect when you're there. When we come back from the break, I want to talk about why are y'all doing it? What brought you in as new owners? And then why is Boerne the right place to do it? And is there a collection of makers in our community? So take a few minutes for the break, come back, and we're going to learn more about the Boerne Handmade Market that's happening on May 3rd and 4th up here in Boerne, Texas. This is Justin McKenzie from Building Texas. Today's segment is brought to you by Das GreenHaus. Das GreenHaus is a business incubator launched here in Boerne to serve our local community. Das GreenHaus is a place where you can come to grow your idea. Our goal is to make Boerne accessible to people who are looking to grow a business, expand a business, or learn more about what's out there in their community and get involved. Visit us at dasgreenhaus.org or come visit us at 7 Upper Balcones Road, Boerne, Texas. Das GreenHaus. Welcome back to Building Texas on Boerne Radio 103.9 FM. I'm sitting here with Tiffany Phillips and Sarah Wilburn from the Boerne Handmade Market that takes place on May 3rd and May 4th. They're the new organizers for this market, and we talked a lot in the first segment about what the market is, what to expect, why to come. But I want to talk about, why is this a new thing for the two of you? What inspired you to take it over?
I will say for me, it wasn't something that I was seeking out or expected to pick up and do. It was really just kind of serendipitous that I was closing a chapter for one part of my life and then having conversations with Beth, the previous organizer, about what she was going to do and who was going to take it over. And just sort of thinking, well, like, man, I think I could do that if I partnered with somebody. Immediately had Tiffany in mind. So the way that it came about wasn't planned, but I will say that being associated with women's networking for small businesses, specifically for the past 6 years almost, has really been on my heart to serve and help small businesses, being a small business owner myself. It was one of those opportunities where even though I didn't plan for it, it seemed to have happened at the exact correct time. And then to get to work on it with one of my best friends, who I also get to support throughout the whole thing with her business, is just the cherry on top for me.
So what is your business? What are you doing today? And what does your booth look like at Boerne Handmade Market?
The booth that I'll have at Boerne Handmade Market is Lost Buddy Spices. It's a small batch, family-owned company that I started in 2017. The original dry rub recipe has been in my family for my entire life. And we actually gave it as our wedding favor in 2010 to everybody. And we were just giving it away to everybody. So eventually it was like, we got to market this. And so started that when my oldest was 6 months old. Then brought in another spice blend from a friend who's a chef. And so anyway, it's been really fun. I don't set up at a lot of markets because I have small kids. And so it's hard for me to justify that time, but there's no excuse to not have this opportunity for my company to be there too. So I'm really excited to set up and slang some spices.
So everybody come out and find Sarah at Lost Buddy Spices at the Boerne Handmade Market.
That's right. You'll actually see Jared there. But I'll be at the market. I'll be running around like a crazy person.
So Jared needs some support.
He's
been putting up with this for the planning cycle of the last year, I'm sure.
He has.
Okay, good. And Tiffany, how about you? What brings you into this?
So, as I had said before, I have been a vendor for several years there, and it has always just brought me a lot of joy to meet the shoppers and make a difference, really. With my business, I run Simply Tiffs, and I handcraft skincare products for the entire family. And it's just my heart, right? And I am a homeschool mom. I have 2 children, and it's a great opportunity to serve the community. It's a great opportunity to even serve my children and show them, the fruits of the labor, that when you put your heart to something and you really use the talents and the hands that the Lord has given you, you can make that difference, right? So not only can I make a difference now to my clients, I can make a difference to other vendors in their small businesses by doing something like this. When I was first approached by Sarah, letting me know that Beth was, thinking of handing over the market, it was just really heavy on my heart to say yes. I don't even think I paused. I love Boerne and I love this community. I love the market, and I really enjoy the makers that I get to meet and create relationships with. It made sense to just jump right in feet first. I didn't really think about it. I just knew that the Lord would support me and he would provide whatever I needed to go for it. That's kind of my why behind it. It's basically just all heart. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's just all heart and me wanting to give and serve others.
And your biochemistry background, really wanting to make skincare products, things that you really enjoy doing.
I do. I really enjoy doing those things. And so with regard to the skincare side of my business, it's just one of those things when you have friends that have children or you have friends that have health issues or concerns, you just want to help. You want to fix it. And with the knowledge and the brain that the Lord gave me, I just knew I could do that for them. And so hearing just the multiple stories of, oh, Tiffany, my child has acne or my child has eczema, it got to my heart and I wanted to help them because being a child, even an adult, is hard. So why should it be harder because of whatever you might be facing with your skin? And so when I was able to make those products that actually helped them and they were able to turn to something natural rather than pharmaceutical, it just kind of gives you that fire. And I'm a nerd at heart, so it's fun.
So in addition to great shopping, networking with your friends and people you may or may not recognize, and those conversations that will happen at the market, which are all fun parts of being in that environment, what other events are we looking forward to? Where can people get more involved beyond just shopping?
Great question. We do have some ideas in mind. Right now, the market happens twice a year.
Yeah.
So we have a spring market and a fall market. We're going to keep that the same. We have no intention of changing that, but we do have a couple of ideas for expansion or for more opportunity for makers. And we want to get through the spring market because it's our first one. We want to make sure we do it really well before we say, hey, we're going to launch this, or we're going to try this, or meet us here. So other than just coming and supporting and shopping and sharing and sharing and sharing and sharing, we will eventually have more ways to support the makers. We're just not quite ready to share that yet. Great question, though.
And currently we have the VIP night, which Sarah mentioned previously. And so how you can support our makers and really benefit yourself is having first dibs on those makers' phenomenal products. I mean, we're talking these products that some of these makers are bringing are just, they're incredible. Things that you've never seen before, right?
And it's not like they have 10 of them under the table. They made one.
Right. So some of these makers, they have made one or two of these things. And so if you miss out on VIP night, which we do sell tickets, and so that's on Friday night, it's 6 to 9, and you get first dibs on those makers, those products. There's going to be coupons, there's going to be free product, there's going to be discounts, wine, cookies. We have some fabulous sponsors. You're going to get a tote bag, and just, it'll be small, it'll be intimate. We do have some tickets still available, $25. You can go on our website and purchase those.
What is your website?
It is BoerneHandmadeMarket.com. So that's a great way to support the vendors as well, because when we are able to offer those VIP nights, that allows us to promote the market more, get more items for our shoppers, things like that.
The other thing it helps us do is keep the cost down for the vendors. So we have to have an application fee and a booth fee, and we're able to keep it at something that's reasonable for the vendors to show up because we have shoppers coming to VIP night and we have sponsorships. So
it's amazing. Again, as a vendor in those markets in a past life, that was margin that was cutting in. And if the market's expensive, you got to sell that much more. In a handmade situation, you might not have a lot to sell, but you have some very high quality individual things. So keeping that cost is really exciting. Now, why in Boerne? What is unique? Is this something that happens in cities across Texas, or is this something unique to our area?
So Boerne Handmade Market is the largest market of its kind in South Texas. And it's been established in Boerne, which is great for Tiffany and I, because this is where we grew up and where I currently live, that it already exists in this area. We have such a huge collection of vendors, not just in Boerne, but in the small towns surrounding us, that doing the market here and supporting the local economy and the local vendors and the local venue and the local sponsors, that we're able to bring so much awareness to them through the popularity that it's gained over the last several years. And again, the location, we didn't pick it, but it couldn't be more perfect for what we're trying to do.
Today, we're sitting at Das GreenHaus, and we are surrounded by entrepreneurs that are building businesses at different ways. And one of the things that comes to my mind as we're having this conversation is those are entrepreneurial people. Your makers will oftentimes not consider themselves entrepreneurs. They're side hustle. It's a hobby. They never really take the ownership that, Tiffany, I've seen you take with Simply Tiff, but you take ownership of that brand and you've made it everything that it is today, and you would call yourself entrepreneurial. But a lot of these makers don't. They are really humble about it. So how do I draw those people into a place like Das GreenHaus where they can see that there's 50 other people like them? The market is a great way to do that, but that's not a place to collaborate, because when you're a vendor at a market like that, you're sweaty. You've been running all day. You're going to do 30,000 steps. It's work. But on the off days, it's a good reminder that there's other people doing this type of work.
Absolutely. I think Sarah actually has a lot of experience with what you're talking about, specifically with Babes Support Babes, which is a organization that really taps into women-owned businesses. But here, what's great about Das GreenHaus is you have such a diverse population, right? Boerne is so full of farmers, ranchers. They're full of talented makers, that have all of these skill sets. And so here at Das GreenHaus, using those entrepreneurs that you already have and leveraging their gifts with one another where they can support one another, I think is one of those great ways that you can bring more people in. offer workshops, offer others a way to tap into and network with one another where they can support one another and really lift each other up so they can say, hey, you're having an off day, but look at this great thing that you just did a day ago or 2 days ago, right? Or look what you have to look forward to because this is what you've been working on. And I know, Sarah, you go ahead and take it from here because you have a lot more experience with that.
Well, I think that's something that a lot of solopreneurs experience is doing it solo and not recognizing the community that could exist for them of people going through the exact same thing. So as far as tapping into the makers that come to the market, I think there's a great opportunity for that connection, not necessarily when we're sweaty and breaking down and doing all the stuff at the market, but contacting them and saying, did you know this exists? Did you know that there's a spot that you can come and build community amongst other solopreneurs going through the same steps that you're going through? Maybe someone's a little farther along and you can get some information and knowledge from them, or maybe you can mentor someone who's just getting started. And that is something that Babe Sport Babes in San Antonio is great at, is helping build small women-owned businesses, solopreneurs that are just getting started and having a hierarchy of mentors that can help you. And I think that the opportunity here is just as great because it's not only women that we're helping out, it's any solopreneur in their own way. So I'd love to see some stuff happen here at Das GreenHaus with the Boerne Handmade Market vendors and just trying to find some community for them.
So what about kids? We talk a lot about the students at Boerne ISD. I promote the Incubator EDU program and the wonderful experiences that these students are getting today. Where are the maker students? Because I know they're there. There's kids that have 3D printers now in their houses or their school. Boerne Education Foundation does a great job with that. But where are these kids coming in, and is there an element of your market for that?
We actually do have a kid market for our spring market set up, and it's going to be on Saturday. And right now I think we have 8 kids between the ages of 8 and 14, I think, setting up. And we're trying to limit their competition, right? So we're accepting, one that makes jewelry and one that makes soaps and one that does greeting cards. So that they're not having their own competition, but these are younger kids. And as I'm hearing you say these other programs that you're a part of, I'm wondering, like, how do we tap into a high school market?
Well, that's the thing about Boerne that amazes me and why I'm so proud to be at Das GreenHaus and connecting people is I think out here, a lot of us have that mentality of the solopreneur. I'm in it. I'm doing it myself. Everything else around me is noise. Instead of the collaborative approach of, hey, I have a really tough task. You've got experience. How can we work together? And just a place for that to happen. The schools, we work with interns. We work with the practicum kids. We work with a lot, but we're really trying to get it. How do we go to elementary school and start in 3rd grade with the maker markets? Because I've seen that with Startup Kids Club and Amber Wakeham out of Wimberley. She has these markets for kids, and she tells her story in a previous episode of her daughter really struggling with school, but when it came to the entrepreneurial side, it was just a big bright light. It changed their whole dynamic, and it got that kid excited about school again.
Yeah. I love that. I'd love to figure out how we can figure that out. I'd like to figure out how to figure that out. It makes a lot of sense. But you hear what I'm saying. I think there's an opportunity there.
Yeah.
And I think that we can open those doors.
And it may even be a way for our makers to go into some of those schools and work with some of those students, because as a maker myself, I have worked with East Central ISD, their special education program. In fact, my daughter, when she was 3 years old, and I went in there and we worked with their special education students in showing them how to make lip balm and some of our salves that we make so that they can see, I can do this. I am good at this. And I can do so much more than what I've been leading myself to believe that I can do. And so some of these makers or entrepreneurs, like what you're saying, they would be great at going into those schools in different mentorship type programs. And it's going to be a mutually beneficial experience. So I think that that's a great way for us to even involve those relationships that we have and leverage those relationships that we have through the Boerne Handmade Market and connect more with the younger community so that we have these Boernes that want to stay here and support our community.
People like us that want to come back and we want to be involved at some level here because it's where we grew up. And it's exciting that y'all have that opportunity. I'm thrilled to help promote the Boerne Handmade Market on May 3rd and May 4th. That will be at the 1910 Church campus. So visit their website. You can visit their website at boernehandmademarket.com. And Tiffany, Sarah, thank y'all for the way that you're building Texas, and thank you for spending time with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
This is Justin McKenzie from Building Texas. Today's segment is brought to you by Das GreenHaus. Das GreenHaus is a business incubator launched here in Boerne to serve our local community. Das GreenHaus is a place where you can come to grow your idea. Our goal is to make Boerne accessible to people who are looking to grow a business, expand a business, or learn more about what's out there in their community and get involved. Visit us at dasgreenhaus.org or come visit us at 7 Upper Balcones Road, Boerne, Texas. Das GreenHaus.
Now let's head over to the Patrick Heath Public Library with Miss Constance for Children's Story Time. As the Patrick Heath Library is open today from 10 to 4, this is Boerne Radio.